and its crossover to trading. So yeah, just to talk a bit about the outer game versus the inner game.
Right, okay. So the outer game is what you see. It's what you do. It's the physical side of trading. It's the risk management, it's the placing trades, it's the entry, it's the exit. It's everything that's tangible. The inner game is what's happening inside your head. It's where the strings are being pulled. It's your behaviour, it's your emotion, it's your psychology, it's your cognitive processes, your thinking skills. And that is behind every great performer, be it sport, be it music, be it military. It's so important to get the inner game right. So the military put a lot of energy and effort into assuming that their traders, that their fighters, their soldiers, their leaders have the right mindset. It's the same with trading. Trading is like military, it's like sport, and you have to win at the inner game. You won't win at the outer game if you don't win the inner game.
How do you win at the inner game? Mindfulness?
Mindfulness is one tool. Actually learning for yourself to be a trader. Learning how to be, not just how to do. This is what a lot of people forget. Some people will develop it naturally. Like I said, good mentorship, good stewardship, learning from mistakes. When I talked about using a journal, as I say, it's a calibration tool. How can you make 1% improvements all over the place? They add up to big improvements at the end of the day. Appreciating risk management and money management. I keep coming back to that. Every successful trader has a risk management process and a money management process. I guess it's very much thinking about what you do. Trading is a very consuming activity, and you kind of get sucked into it, so you're not giving your mind space to think. And I meet a lot of people that I say to them, if you could stop yourself, step out and stand behind you, would you be giving yourself the same advice as what you're actually doing? In other words, if you watch someone else, can you see what they're doing wrong or right? And they say, yes, I can, but I can't tell them. And I say, could you imagine putting yourself in that third person position where you could literally freeze time and say, don't do that. You can tell just from your demeanour that you're losing money and you're going to lose money. You know, we do get consumed. So it's that ability to step back, to almost, as I say, forget your ego, to analyse what you're doing. That's what great performers do.
It's incredibly difficult to do. It's such a simple concept, and it's such an easy to understand concept for everybody. But the actual practice of that, whatever walk of life, particularly in trading, it's just so difficult to do, isn't it? I always think of the analogy of trying to stop smoking with a little horrible ghoul that sits on your thing, so the monkey on your shoulder. But, we all know we've got this monkey on the shoulder, and what we've got to do is just stop looking and say, shut up, let me think. And you just, but we can't do it.
Yeah.
It's the quirk of our psychology, isn't it, really?
It is, and that brings me on to the chimp paradox, actually. I don't know if you've read that book.
I have tried, I think I've got this book at home, I think I started it. So go on, yeah.
So it's Stephen Peters wrote it. He was the guy behind the British Olympic team. He was their psychology coach, and he's worked with Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's worked with the B Sky B cycling team. He worked with the England football team at the last World Cup, but I think there's some things that are just beyond help. But his theory of the chimp paradox is that it's a metaphor for how the brain works. And we've got three major components to the brain. The front part is the human part, man, that's conscientiousness. Then you've got the chimp, which is really your emotional as part of the brain. And then you've got a computer, which is the repository of all your learning and experience from the past. You start with a blank slate, and then every experience and belief from your entire life from a very young age goes into that. And you're either in chimp mode or you're in human mode, and they have that computer to draw on to say, what should we do in this situation? Those are our beliefs. The trouble is that the human and the chimp thinks emotionally. He thinks in terms of black and white, either life or death, opportunity or fatality. The human thinks in terms of higher level thinking, higher goals. It's more rational, more logical, and it's a constant play between the two. Which one you engage? Now, the problem is the chimp is far stronger than the human. The chimp is 5 times the strength of the average human, and that's pretty much how it works. It has a lot more stamina, a lot more energy, and if they're caught in a fight between the two of them, the chimp's going to win. If the chimp gets upset and aggravated, he takes over the brain. So we see that in trading. And this is why I talk about rationality can be a difficult subject in the brain. The chimp is being rational as far as he's concerned. He's not being rational as far as a human's concerned. But we've got that working in there the whole time. Now suddenly when we're under threat, when the market starts moving fast, the chimp takes over and he's in control. So Steve Peters' theory, and the theory behind his book, is learning to manage the chimp, learning to put him in a box, but not try and turn him off, but try and work with him. You know, if you can actually take advantage of his strengths and have him working with you, not against you, bring them into line. Which is why I say don't turn your emotions off, but try and use them.